But anyway, as we go through the episode, now it is time for the main event of the evening. And as January tends to be, it's a bit of a slower month, but we did find one that we think is worthy of being a main event of the evening. This is Bloody Hammers with their latest Songs of Unspeakable Terror. 11 tracks for 32 minutes, the sixth studio with the American band, released January 2021 via Napalm Records, self-produced by Anders Manga with Devalia, his wife. This one comes right on the heels of an EP, but this came out because of COVID. They had time to burn, and he wanted to write something new to keep his sanity intact. So this one was apparently inspired by a lot of the old school New York kind of bands as well. Tim, how about we go with you first? What did you make of Bloody Hammers?
You can hear that old school New York band right in this. Very much old school goth rock. And it works really well. First thing that I noticed was his voice.
Yep.
He's got like, this is going to sound weird, but for me, he sound like, between his tone and his phrasing, he sounded like a weird, like, love child of James Hetfield and Glenn Danzig.
Actually, I get that.
And again, for whatever reason, over that sort of heavy, very bass-heavy palm muting style, it just worked absolutely perfectly. And the way it sort of everything sat around his voice without getting too bright and shimmery, it stuck true to that style, and I thought it worked really well. Album flowed from start to finish. There wasn't really any flat spots for me either, so I actually really enjoyed this. This came out of nowhere. I had no idea who this band was, honestly, and I gave it a listen, and I honestly really dug it. So this is a really good listen for me. If you're into that sort of goth rock kind of, it's weird saying that, but again, it's that kind of older, almost like a punkier style. But if you're into that sort of thing, then you should definitely check it out because it's a fantastic listen. It flew by. Hands of the Ripper and the ones who own the Dark were my highlights, an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool.
So, Dave, you were saying in the chat that there was one release that was really, really cool this week. I'm tipping this is the one for you.
Oh, yeah. Just the album title alone, Songs of Unspeakable Terror, just speaks right to me. This is a bit like Wednesday 13, but without the gory necrophilia and without the motherfuckers. This I can play in front of my kids, obviously, Wednesday 13, most of it you can't. But there's still plenty of horror-inspired themes and violence, but it's more towards the Addams Family, monsters, Happy Halloween. Well, they play it tongue-in-cheek. It's not really played for laughs, but they're not taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
They're drawing a lot from early Hammer horror, so if you're an old-school horror fan, or a horror fan in general, you're going to enjoy this. It's great fun. The songs are fun. The singer has a damn good voice. Drums are cool. I think it's his wife's on bass, or...
Yeah, I believe she does the other bits and pieces, Yeah,
but it's a cool blend of the two. Yeah. Riffs are cool. They drive the songs. The horror is all horror-based, but a bit of the early straight-up punk.
Yeah.
So that was cool. They got 5 albums before this, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
Apparently, this one's a little bit different to the rest of their catalogue, they were saying. Like to the point where they almost thought of releasing this as a side project, not under the actual Bloody Hammers name, but it looked like it. But the label said, no, release it under your name. It's good. So there you go.
Yeah, cool. It'll be interesting to see how different it is. But yeah, I gave this 8.5 out of 10. Like Tim. 5. Fuck. It's more than 5. 8.5 out of 10. And Night to Dismember, Not of This Earth, Waking the Dead, Night of the Witch, Lucifer's Light, Nice Spin on Your Corpse. Some titles are amazing.
Good title, that.
Yeah, good title, that one. That was very, very cool. I think we're all in the same boat. Hadn't really paid a lot of... I'd heard the name kicking around, but never checked out any of their stuff until this record came along. Because when I was going through it, the way I determined what would be the main event for this one and for our deep cuts on the weekend, I just found ones that seemed to have a few releases, a bit of a profile going on, weren't just, 1,000 likes on Facebook, and found some bigger ones, and then go through who had the most sort of listens on Spotify, monthly listeners. And these guys have like 100,000 listeners a month on Spotify. So it's like, okay, cool. Away you go. Like I said, I heard the name, but never dabbled, and here we go. This is very, very cool. Gritty sort of horror punk. I think it's, it's kind of like the Misfits, whatever else meets a bit of Volbeat or Clutch for mine.
Oh,
yeah.
that Volbeat kind of clutch, that feel with it being much more gritty and horror based than that. So, you know, maybe those guys doing a duet with someone like Wednesday 13 be kind of the vibe you're looking for.
Yeah, you could tour.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Bloody Hammers and Wednesday 13.
Yeah, that'd be a good show. I think the mix suits this style really well. It's got that really gritty sort of edge to it, but it's a bit deadened off with the guitar sort of up along with the vocal, and then the rest sort of just back a little bit on this one. But I thought there were some good hooks in this, surprisingly good hooks. I didn't, you know, when you do the reading on it, you're thinking, okay, it's me that sort of horror, punky kind of stuff. But for that description, that would really not let you think about the hooks that are in this one. They're really catchy, really well done. You look at the song titles and you hear the chorus playing through your mind pretty bloody quickly. So the songs are very well written, get stuck in your head. The rhythm and use of melody was very, very cool, along with the use of swing. I really loved when this thing swang into a groove, and they really did nail that aspect down really well. I think lyrically is where the fun is out of this one, like Dave was saying, sort of, you know, more the fun, old school horror kind of thing Adam's found, that sort of stuff is in there. There's a bit of tongue-in-cheek about it. But it's very, very well done overall. And the self-production kind of vibe, doing it all yourself, it feels a bit like that, but in a good way, not in a bad way. So between the lyrics, the performances, the production, it feels like they've done it themselves. But it's one of those ones where listening to this makes me feel like self-production is improving over the years. And so artists in general are getting better at being multitaskers. And so that's where it's all going to eventually go, I think. And so this shows you that it's working for that favor kind of thing. There was a couple of little Foley and sound grab moments on this. Nothing like what you get with a Wednesday 13 or a Rob Zombie record in particular. But there was just enough there to break it up a bit. And it's only a half-hour listen. It flies by. It's so easy to take in and repeat spin as well. And because the gear changes were just enough to keep it interesting, that half hour is just bang gone. You can go back. I was able to go back and listen to this one over and over again without even thinking about it. It was just so easy to take in. It's a lot of fun. The energy is good. The hooks are good. Nothing wrong with this at all. It's a very, very good album. And I, like everyone else, I think I'm going to be going and checking out, you know, I want to see just how different this is, but at the same time, with the talent that's been displayed on this one, I think I'll be fine. I don't think I'm going to dislike any of the previous stuff. I'm just curious now. So I do want to go and check out more of Bloody Hammers on the back of this. So well done to that. If you like anything that's horror themed at all, this is one for you. Go and check it out. 8.5 out of 10 from me too. A Night to Dismember, the opening track, that was cool. We Are the Damned and Lucifer's Light, because that was the sort of softer track on the record that got my attention a bit as well. Those are my standouts on this one.